Hello and welcome back to Crafty Lynn's Jar. Yes, well, after that big project, I've been looking at some new stuff, and I think it's time to tackle arrays. Oh my god, I've been looking at them and they're not too bad, and I think they're quite used. So let's just make a class and call it array thing. And finish that. There we go. Array thing. I'm getting desperate for titles, aren't we? Okay. So an array is, for me, how I look at it, is like a list, but an index list. Like, so for example, you've got a range of things, and each has got like ordered by from like 0 to 1, 0 to 10, for example, and anything on that list you can refer to by the index, and it's like you think of like a phone book. Think of a phone book. Every phone book, each phone number has a number attached to it, so you can maybe a computer can do it, refer to it. So it goes from 0 to 2 million or something, and I'm 1,343 on the list, something like that. Anyway, how do we make an array? Well, yeah, have to. What do we do today? Let's just do array of ints. Int. Now you have to use these. I don't know what they're called, to be honest. These things. Int and numbers. Okay. And when you do that, you can say, you have to say new int, and you have to put that in there, and you have to, inside that you have to put how many you want. Okay, so let's say we want 20, and all the errors go away, so that's a good sign. So what it's done, it's created 20, how would you say, spaces, I suppose, 20 fields in a book. It's got Java's got a little book, a little guy in a book in the back, and he's writing all this down. So he's created 20 empty spaces, but we'll have to put something in these in the fields next to the index. And so at the moment, all we've done is created the empty fields. Now let's look at how we do it. So we'll make a little method to fill the fields. To public void, because I'm not returning anything. Fill, I'm pressing cap locks, fields. Okay, so we can do that. So we can call it now a main, and let's just clear our main. So we call array thing. Is it thing? Me huggies equals new array thing. There's a lot of things about arrays, so in one lesson you're not going to use that. And we'll call the method, which we've got somewhere, fill fields, although it's empty, but just so we can check it. Save that and save that, so the error goes away. There we go. Now this is why we needed to use in the for loop. Okay. So for example, we've got this, let's do the for loop. For I equals 0. Now we don't, this is normally where we put the maximum, for int I equals 0. this we might was less than what? Well, less than number 20. So less than the length of the array. Because if it's bigger than the array, we're gonna have problems. But fortunately, there's a method. If you type in numbers and then put, there's the one that I see length. It's on the second one. We're gonna get it here. That tells this that if I is greater than the 20, then stop. And I plus plus. Okay. So we have to take our int. Now I have to remember how to do this. So for example, if I put numbers, and you gotta do that, and I think you do. I'm gonna try this way. Numbers I. Stupid keyboard. Equals. I've spelled numbers wrong. That's one. Numbers I equals I plus 2. That's I times 2. That'll do. Okay, and that's it. And we want to print out numbers. But here we want to print out which one we're talking about. And so there we go. So let's see what we've done. Just to recap, because that looks a bit confusing to me. Not been learned it. So we do the we created this, and you always have to put these little square brackets. I don't know if there's a special name for them. Please tell me if there is. We give it a name, and then we create it, and it's empty except for the fact that we know there's 20 fields in it. Now, what you have to remember in Java, and this is the hammer India, is this begins at 0. So it doesn't finish at 20, it finishes at 19, which you'll see here. So what we're going to do, I'll continue. So we did the standard for loop, and we got the length. So we don't want it bigger than the size of the array, which is 20 numbers. So it gives us a little thing when we type in array. And I don't know where this comes from, to be honest. Can we get it? Numbers? It just seems to. It must be something in some class. It has to be. Just kind of open it. Usually you can open it when you say numbers. Let's try it. What does it say? Have I got no Java docs for that? No. Anyway, it just brings back the length, which is 20. 20, yeah, from 0 to 19, which is 20 digits. Then we've done the I++. So what we've done is taken this, numbers, and this is the index. So this is, so for example, it's 0, it begins at 0. So 0 equals 0 times 2, right? And that'll go around once. And after the next time, I, because we've got this, is 1. So it's 1 times 2. And then it goes again, and this adds another 1. So this is 2 times 2. And it's going to print out what this is every time. So we have to print out, you have to put this brackets in the thing, otherwise it wouldn't work. So let's just try that. See if it works. Oh, and it works. Oh, I'm so glad. That's a relief. I'm always a bit tense before I try something, because if it doesn't work, you look like an idiot. But never mind. I don't mind that. There's plenty of times you look like an idiot in life, but never mind. But it's a bit tense. So that's basically how they work. I mean, I think these for loops were invented for arrays. So, for example, if we put this at 200, Okay, and run it. Whoa! There we go. If you just wanted to find out, for example, what's that? Let's see. Print out, what's it? Is it 100? That's the number at 100, but we don't want to print it out 20 million times, of course. Okay. Maybe we just print it out once. It should be number 200. And but I think what we'll do is we'll print out the index as well. So we're going to print out I have to find the thing, plus, and we'll put a little space in there. In fact, we'll do that little thing we learned in the last one. I think it's called an escape sequence. I'm not too sure. I have to find out what it's called. I've just seen it. And put back an I here. And we should have, there we go. So if we look for, where was 100? There we go. At 100, it was 200. And we printed out the right one. Okay, so you can find individual ones if you want. And I think I have to learn it. This is when you get into all this start of searching and indexing and looking for data, which I have I'm not near enough yet. But just to make simple array, and now you can make arrays out of anything, any of this, any object. For example, if we want a array of strings, for example, we could do that. And there are other ways of initializing. So let's create another string here. For example, another array but of strings. And what we put foods equals, and this is the other way of initializing. We do it like this, right? And we put foods in. For example, hamburger. Oh, you have to, because it's a string, obviously, you have to do it. Well, not actually just ham, because I can't be bothered to write out. And we put in noodles. And we also forget to do this. Noodles. That's giving me an error. Why is it giving me an error? Type mismatch string. String. My typing is terrible. What other foods? I'm trying to think. Sweets. Or candies to Americans. That's English, eat sweets. Or sweet. So you've got that. And you can do the same thing. Let's just get this. And we'll just stick it underneath that just because we can. String, what's it called? Foods. And we don't need anything of this. We don't need this. We just need to change this. And let's just, here's a good trick. If you type you can comment that out. You don't lose it, but it won't do it, basically, without having just if you want to check things. And we have to put foods I. So what we got? Noodle sweets. So this is an object. So I could create if I create an object, I can make an array out of it, you see. So when we're looking at more objects, it's a bit better, but it just does a normal one. Now there is something I want to show you, so I'm just gonna get rid of that and this, because I want to show you something else, because this is about a project I want to do, a side project. I want to look at a thing called random. Alright, this is a class. And let's say rand equals new random. Now this produces a random number, basically. It's nothing. Now we remember we get that thing, so we have to import it. So Control Shift and the I forgot about people on the Mac. I don't know. You have to look at your Mac. Find someone who teaches on a Mac, I'm afraid. Command, is it command? I don't know, command or something. I don't know what it is. So the random gives out a random number. Okay. Now, imagine I want random numbers in this rather. So we're going to change this. Equals. Okay, and we're going to put rand. And it's got a method called next int. And it's got a parameter here, and this is a number. So I want the number between, if I want the next random between 100 and say, because I want to generate two-digit numbers. Let's say, okay. So we're going to cut this down. This is for a new series I'm going to do on mental maths. Little spoiler. So, and we just want 100. So we want two-digit numbers. So we're gonna, okay. Now with that, it's gonna be between 100, but we need to add 11 because we want to be at above plus 10. I'll get. Well, let's try this because we'll. So the random, it's got these things called next int, and it just produces a random number, and if it has a parameter, it's within that range, so from 0 to 100. And I'm just adding 10 on it, so hopefully I'll get it. Thinking maybe. That's why no. Interesting. Why did it do that? So we'd have to do an if statement. There we go. Because we're both randomly, we both got 100 at the same time. So if it's 100, say we'd have to do an if statement. But it's not going below 100, but it is going above 100. And I don't want that because it's a 3 number. So we would have to do... Well, that's for the project. I don't think I'll do it now. But you see what I'm getting at. I think we'd have to probably do if number is greater than 100, minus 10 or something stupid like that. But it's getting 2 numbers. Alright, and if I wanted 3 numbers, let's put 0. It's going to go 1,000, isn't it? Yeah, nearly. It'll get to 1. It's going to go 1,000. Do it. Let's see, there's less chance because it's... Oh, what the hell's going on there? Just running it. So we're all right there. So that's good. So this random feature is very good. It creates you can create a lot of randomness, which for a computer is very difficult, I think. But it's based on some guy's algorithm, I'm sure. And so if you want a bit of randomness in your thing, I think they do it a lot in computer games. When it's just it could be a random chance that something attacks you, for example, or a random chance of finding treasure. And you see it would just go, well, you've got 1 chance in 100. If you get that number, poof. So I think it's a useful thing to learn, and we're going to need to learn it because we're going to try and do a little side project again. I'm sorry about these side projects, but the help, you learn by doing these things, you see. So in the next one will be a side project where we're going to do a random number generator, and we're gonna see if we can try and get these numbers in these arrays. So there's two numbers, and get the result of an addition or a division, just to check the answer, because then we'll use that in something forthcoming. So hopefully we can do that soon, and then ooh, I'll be happy. So this has been the arrays. I don't think it's too bad. You just have to remember the syntax more than anything, because if you get it wrong, it just messes up. So you have to do that, and you can actually put these at the edges as well. It doesn't matter. I just put them after there because it reminds me to put them here, and the best to have a reminder. So that's why it's good. Then you do new int, or you can, for example, you can cut it off there and not initialize it and initialize it somewhere else. So it would be numbers equals new int blah blah blah, and then you would do your thing. So you'd initialize it here, for example, and say numbers equals new int, like this. I'll show you. We'll just stick that there, and we'll cut this off, and we should get the same, we'll go with the same result. So you can just declare it, and then you initialize it or create it here, and so that's okay. You have no problem with that. And then you've got the random thing, which just produces a random number. Now, because I'm on an int, let's think. It's got ints there. If I just do random plus 10, what does that do? So it just does anything. There's no control. And you've got negatives. There's a thingy popping up. So it's, but the other one, I can control the randomness slightly, so if you're using a float or a double, you can get that, and and I don't know if there's one for char. Let's look at the random class. Would there be a one for next long, next float, next double? I don't know what a Gaussian is. Whoa, that's just mental. Bytes, yes. Whoa. Sometimes you have to look at these and you think, oh my god, I'm never gonna learn. Don't worry, they're just they're done by people who do this for a living. We're just learning because we can. So there you go, the random number, and we're going to use this in a random numbering generator, the next little side project. So I hope this has been okay and not too confusing. Once you start using them, they get a bit better. I think they're a bit daunting at the beginning. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh Christ. But once you start going into it and saying that it's just a list of things. It's just sometimes these books that just think, they go around in circles and make it so grandiose, and like, oh, we're computer programmers, look at this, blah blah blah. But really, it's not as difficult as it looks. It's just a list of numbers with like this. And let's knock the list up. Let's do 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 million. Why not? See how, it's taking a while to calculate all that. Look, we've got 2 million numbers we're randomly generating between 1 and 100. And we'll get there. Will it get there in the end? So it's taking its time, isn't it? My God. Was that just to print them out, really? Probably calculates it very quickly. So that's my 2 millionth number. So you can get 2 million random numbers there. I didn't even keep them all. That's terrible, that. But 20's good. Oh, 2. And he messes it up at the last bit. That's what I like to see. 20. Save it and run it. There we go. 20 random numbers. Okay. And you see, we cannot have them either, so we would have to put some conditional statements in to stop that. We'll look at that in the next project. So take care, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.